What's good, YouTube? Menaofsteel here, and it's been a while, but today I will be doing a set review for Crimson Blaze. It is a few days behind, as I usually enjoy making these videos before the set even comes out, but there was no spoilers this time around, and I didn't post it the day of because I was stuck between, do I want to make this video or do I want to play in the first tournament that I had available to me? And luckily I did, because we ended up getting top 8 with Mega Steelix. And if you're interested in that video, that will be linked down below. But anyways, let's get right into it with the newest set in Pokemon Pocket, Crimson Blaze. As always, we will be going through every card and then rating it among the following tiers: broken, meta, good, mid, bad, and why, as in like, why does this exist? And you'll understand like what I mean by these tiers. They're gonna be a little skewed, mainly because I don't think this set has the same power level as sets that we've seen in the past, like as an overall thing. But nonetheless, we have 69 cards to go through, and let's get right into it with the first card, Bulbasaur. Which, if you've seen any of my past set review videos, I don't necessarily rank the basics for some of these lines, mainly because a card like this, Bulbasaur, only has 60 HP, attacks with one energy. It's pretty standard. However, I do have to bring out that it's probably the best Bulbasaur that we've gotten to this day. The fact that it could attack with just one energy makes it better than the one like from Genetic Apex that required 2. But grass Pokemon tend to be like very expensive with energy. This time around we have the Bulbasaur, but again, we don't rate these cards. But we do have Ivysaur. Ivysaur, although we usually wouldn't rate it, this is a stage 1 that has the attack synthesis for 1 energy, take 2 energy from the energy zone. Basically, it's like a mini Stoke, and sets up so your Mega Venusaur is ready to attack the following turn. When they first revealed Mega Venusaur, and we'll go over it when I get to Mega Venusaur, I honestly had to see more, because on paper alone, 4 energy for the amount of damage it does, for the effects it does, although it's very bulky and it has a good attack, like additional attacks. The attack alone was like a little too expensive, but now that I see the Ivysaur, I think I have to put it in the good. The reason Ivysaur, I think Ivysaur as a card itself is broken. Okay, there you go. That's what I'll do. Ivysaur as an idea, if it was like generic, would be insane. What obviously fails it is what it goes into. Like, we have this Venusaur here, Poisonous Whip, 90 damage. Your opponent's active is now poisoned, so it's literally just a mini version of the Mega. It's only on 1 pointer though, so I say it's probably good. If you're playing a non-EX meta, I could see this card seeing play. Although I would have probably liked to see Sleep over the Poison. Sleep is it's far more, I guess, high rolly, but it could definitely steal games. Like, that's the part of the Mega that I think is better. Then we have Mega Venusaur. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned and asleep for 120 damage. If it wasn't for the Ivysaur, I don't see this. This would have been like mid probably. And I don't want to go as far as meta, because to the point where we're at, it's not seeing the success that I initially thought. Maybe it's because people are playing PCL. Maybe people are more prepared for it. Maybe it's because how famous like Charizard, how popular Charizard is right now in the meta, where Venusaur doesn't have a spot right now. I would see, like, I can see this list, this card finding its way into the meta if Charizard gets a little more like mitigated. But as at the height of popularity that Charizard is right now, this card is unfortunately stuck in just good. Then we have Spinarak, which falls under just a basic, doesn't really do much. But Ariados is one of those cards that if I had rated it before the card came out, I would have probably said like, oh, it's interesting, but it only hits for 3rd. I might have even gone as far as calling it a Rapidash, a Gen 1 Genetic Apex fluff. Like, why are they printing? But that ability, Trap Territory, mixed with Whimsicott EX, shout out to Shigun for, I guess, being the first one to post this list. This card, I'm gonna have to put, it's low-key meta, but the card itself isn't meta, if that makes sense. I'm gonna go with the card is good, and it leads to Whimsicott being meta, if that, I guess that makes kind of sense. I don't know. Sunkern once again falls under the thing. At least another thing about Spinarak and now the Sunkern is that they are searchable with Licia. That doesn't come up too much. I guess it could come up with the Spinarak, but like Sunkern evolves into the Sunflora, which is 30 plus if you have quick grow. This card's mid. I can see what it's going for. It's basically a Rapidash that hits a little stronger, especially if you find it with the quick grow extract, but realistically not gonna see much play. Then we have a Burmy, 2 energy basic. Like, if I was rating basics, this one would be in the bottom tier, but it evolves into Maltham, 3 energy, colorless, 70. Technically, it makes any deck have an out to Ori, but it's a stage 1. This card is mid to bad. I would just go bad because I don't see anybody ever playing this. And high key, the same thing goes for the Sunflora. Like, these cards are just bad in the sense of like, Pocket's gone to such a power level where like, it seems rough to call these cards mid or bad, but like, who's actually gonna play these, right? So I'll stay with the initial thoughts, and then we'll move it if some other cards fall in the mid. For fire, we only have 6 Pokemon to go over, which is the Charmander line and a Houndoom line. But as you can see, the Charmander is actually the opposite of like what we saw in Genetic Apex, where Charmander only needed 1 energy to attack. Now they're printing one that doesn't. You're never gonna use this Charmander, quite frankly. But again, we're not rating the basics. We got Charmeleon. This Charmeleon, I also believe, falls under broken, or at least meta. Like, I guess both of them could be like, is that Ivysaur and this Charmeleon is actually better than the Ivysaur. The Ivysaur is only going to be ever as good as like the Venusaur that comes after. So low-key, this actually probably belongs here. But this Charmeleon works with any time that a good fire type exists. Like the fact that it enables Entei to hit far sooner. It makes a Moltres that's ramping your back row all of a sudden be able to hit you for 70. Like, so basically whenever you evolve it, it gives the active Pokemon, the active fire Pokemon, an energy. So it's just strong. Yes, its attack's probably never gonna come up, but just a strong card. Anything with ramp is always gonna be good, especially the fact that decks are like, oh, we're not gonna play Rare Candy because we want to play this card, shows how good the card is, right? Then we have Charizard. This one, however, I saw some people play this as an Ori out. Depending on what deck you're going against, it requires you to commit too much energy to it. I guess it falls under like good. It's like, it's decent. Although, high key, I would probably play the other Charizard, the one that's maybe discards. I don't know. I guess it's all right for what it does, I guess. And then we have the Man of the Hour, Mega Charizard Y, which honestly I think is overrated. I don't think that's gonna age poorly. I genuinely believe what it does is obviously insane, which is just knocks out anything in front of it. But in a matchup where you're not going against Megas, you start to fall off like real fast. You can start seeing like the flaws in the deck. Nonetheless, it's gonna be meta because it's Charizard. A bunch of people are gonna play it. Because it's meta, a lot of the other decks are not as viable as they could be or should be. And it has cards that facilitate it with like Charmeleon, for example. And there's not much to say. It's a card that one-shots anything, and there's cards that make it easy to bring out with 4 energy. So whether it's anti-drawing cards, whether it's Moltres ramping, whether you're just banking on Charmeleon, whatever it is, this card is decent. And with besides like a few exceptions, my boy Steelix, this is one-shotting anything that's in front of it, right? Then we have Houndour, which has Roar. Again, a basic. It's interesting though. Switch out one of your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. They do get to choose, but being able to Sabrina, maybe it messes up tempo. I could see this card being interesting. Like, nobody's using it right now, but it has, I guess, you know what, for its own thing, I'll put it in good. It's a decent card, a standalone. 1 energy you can put it anywhere. A random Sabrina turn 1, who knows, like depending on the deck, it could be a good tempo push. And then we have an upgraded Rapidash technically, 9050. This is one of those like fluff, why are you printing this? We are a year into the game and we're still printing 90 HP basics that swing for, I mean, not basic, stage 1s. But I think that's just a personal gripe I have against the card design for some of these. When it comes to water, we probably got the short end of the stick with Blastoise. So if you're a Blastoise fan, I apologize. Well, I don't apologize because it's not my fault, but Squirtle, 70 HP, 2 energy. Again, basics, we're not really rating those. Wartortle has to be the worst of the 3 stage 1s. Yes, it has the ability Shell Shield where it can't be hit on the bench. But like, what besides Decidueye, maybe Pheromosa that's not seeing play, like maybe niche play? Like, what's hitting the bench really? Like, the one thing that's hitting the bench, like consistently, is Greninja that gets around the ability because it's not attacking. It's just, so honestly, I don't know what they were thinking. I can see like, oh, it could stay in the bench and people are not gonna hit it. They can't bring it out. They can't gust it. But honestly, this is mid to, actually, it's just low key bad. Like, unless they print more cards that hit the bench and that's gonna be a liability for the other starters, like the other Megas and stage 1s. This thing is like, it's just brutal. It's brutal. Like, it got short end of the stick, really. There's no other way to express that. Then we have Blastoise non-EX or non-Mega. 3 energy double splash. It's just a mini version of the Mega, which this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached to it. This does 50 to 1, so it's I don't know, it's good, I guess. It's in the same realm as the rest of them. Again, if you could ramp with Wartortle, it would be probably a little bit better. I'm aware that water has Misty, but that's luck. That's not a skill. That's not like a card that's good. It doesn't make a card, like a card's not good if Misty could ramp it. You do have Mantag, you have Manaphy. There's ways to ramp that maybe the other cards don't have, except there is a Magby. The only one that doesn't have that type of ramp is Grass, but now Grass has like an item that evolves it from out of nowhere and you can synthesis. Like, I understand. There's like, we'll get to that, of course. And quite honestly, it's low-key just mid, right? It's only hitting for 90. It's not doing anything extra. Low-key, both of these could go under mid. We're gonna go like that. New update to the tier list there. Then we have Mega Blastoise. This one, 3 energy, 130 solid, right? But it has to have 3 extra energy to do anything extra. If it gets knocked out, you just lose the game. Blastoise is, I mean, Charizard just one-shotting you. Most things are two-shotting you, like most threats you're fighting. It feels bad to put this in. I'll put it. It's a good card. Is it good? Like, be honest with y'all. Like, are we ever gonna see somebody play Mega Blastoise? and do good? Probably, yeah, because if enough people try it, one will break through. Shout out to Steelix. But I think it's gonna be mid. I'm thinking it's gonna be mid. I could live with that. Worst case, I'm gonna get a comment of somebody that really likes Blastoise to the point where they're like, you know what, and they're gonna be real mad once I rate Steelix. But you know what? If you make your own YouTube videos, you could put Blastoise wherever you want. So let's jump to the next one. We got Basculin. 2 energy, surprise strike, 40 plus. If this Pokemon moves from the bench to the active during this turn, so it's like the Sizzler. But man, nobody's gonna play this. It's low key bad, but let's not be too rough. I guess putting it in the same. I'll be less mean to Blastoise. Blastoise is a good card. Okay, if it wasn't in a meta where everything was so much better, if it was a different meta, it would be playable, right? I was like, as soon as I put Basculin next to it, I was like, I gotta change that. Conch is just a means to an end. We got Cloudster, 1 energy. This attack does 20 to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Maybe once upon a time would be good. It's like, oh, validating that they have War Turtle. Like, oh, let's go hit the bench. But let's be honest, the card's not how you play. For Lightning, it's probably when we see some of the most like playable cards, like meta impactful cards. Like this Magnemite immediately goes into the meta. It replaces, because there's nothing that's swinging for 50. Like if it was 40 HP, then it'd be too squishy. But 50, it's swinging for 30, so it's knocking out any baby Pokemon, whether it be Chingling, whether it's like a ramp like a Pichu or a Magby, whether it's like Tyro, although Tyro's hitting you for 40, but that's not here nor there. Point is, hitting for 30 is a huge number. Being 50 HP means you can search it with Licia in some kind of aspect. Maybe there's a deck that's playing like just Magneton. Like Magneton is so splashable because Magneton ramps you regardless of what else you're playing. So if you're playing like some dual color deck, although at that point the Magnemite's not gonna swing, but making it searchable, like I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say. I just don't know how to get there. But point is, like let's say you're playing Altaria, the Dragon one, with Magnemite. And now you get to search Swablu and Magnemite because of the 50 HP. That's where I'm trying to say. Point is, it's meta. Immediately it replaces every other Magnemite that's been printed before. We got Magneton, 1 energy spark, does 20 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, except the War Turtle, you know. This is mid to... If there's no better Magneton than the one we have, so anything other than that is just mid to worse, right? And then we have Magnezone. This Magnezone, I would say it's good. Low-key could even be meta. Like I can see people either playing 1-1 of this or completely replacing the other one for this, because yes, this one does 20 less damage, which is huge in certain matchups. You do have the 10 extra HP, which could be huge in certain matchups. Also, you're not wasting energy, so as soon as this one gets to 3 energy, you can start building up something else. You don't have to put a bunch of energy on your front Magnezone, or like constant, like if you only get to 3 and they're aggroing you and you have to go commit to the Magnezone, then every next turn you just have to consistently charge the one in the front. That's what happens with the old one. This one, not only does it win for 90, if it stays on the... If it gets attacked back with what it attacked, there's a coin flip away from it not even being touched. So honestly, I would say meta. Not broken, but definitely meta. And then we have Emolga. Why? I don't know why they print this. They really love Emolga. How many Emolgas do we have in the game already? Helioptile, whatever, 1 energy, potential paralyzation. Solid, I guess. Like obviously it's just a basic, but it probably would have... Is it the Denny that does the exact same thing? Now I'm like, I can't remember, but what makes this really good is Heliolisk, which, oof. I want to say it's meta because for 2 energy, 120, but then it discards it. It is searchable with a card that we'll be talking about soon. I'll go with good. The only thing that makes it like super playable is probably be something like Magneton with energy switch. So I'll put it. It's a good card. It's a stage 1. It's hitting for 120. With certain items, it could swing for up to 140, 160. It's searchable. Really good card. And not really good card, but it's a good card. You gotta respect it. For Psychics, we start with Misdreavus. 1 energy lead. Put a random supporter from your deck into your hand. Honestly, that's just a good effect. Is it going to be broken? Is it going to be super playable? Time will tell, maybe. But as far as it goes, you got to respect searching your supporters. They got to come in handy at some point. Then we got Mismagius, 2 energy, stored power, 60. Move all your psychic energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. It's kind of odd, right? Like, I understand setting up... we're going to go into it right now. Reuniclus, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it kind of like leaves this one hanging dry, with not much to do. Not sure how I feel about this. I'm gonna go with mid. It doesn't feel bad, but it also doesn't feel like game breaking or like. That's a hard one to judge. I haven't seen it be played too much, so it's hard to obviously guess right now what it's gonna do. But I think it's fair to put it mid until it proves otherwise. Then we have Solosis. It's just a basic. The fact that it's 40 HP. It's kind of rough. It's kind of low, but it is searchable with Alicia, so that's always a good thing. The fact that the stage 1 doesn't matter because we're definitely gonna rare candy in this line, which is Reuniclus. I don't know. This Pokemon gets plus 30 for each psychic energy and plus 30 HP, my bad. So it is only swinging for 90, but it is colorless, it doesn't matter. But obviously you're gonna be adding psychic energy for each psychic. So basically, once it's ready to attack, that has 3 energy, Swinging for 90, it is at 180 HP, granted not counting if it's hurt or anything. And if you keep putting energy into it, however that is, whether it's Miss Magic's putting it in the bench, whether you're playing Gardevoir, versus whether it's Lunala putting all the energy that you've amassed throughout the board to this Reuniclus, it could get really out of hand for your opponent. Not to mention that when they finally knock it out, it is just 1 point. So meta, I don't know if it's meta. It's definitely good. I'll give you that. It's definitely good. It might be a little too niche. It's only hitting for 90, so it's not the craziest thing, but I'm a fan of this type of card game style, like this what's this called, mechanic, or something different, something we haven't seen yet. It's interesting. I like it. All right, and then we got Spritzy. Sweet Scent heals Tony. That's just a basic Pokemon. It goes into Aromatize, whatever. 2 energy, Perfume Blast, 60. During your opponent's next turn, the attack used by the defending Pokemon costs 1 more. We've seen this before, except like Stoutland does it always, I think. Or are we talking about, is it Porygon that does this? We've seen this type of effect before. I don't see it making too much of a difference. Yes, obviously, there'll be a situation where this thing attacks you and then you're like, oh, this sucks. But it's not going to be winning any tournaments. You're not going to be seeing any tournaments. There's no ranked. So, like, even if there was, you wouldn't be seeing this. And then the last psychic we got is Xerneas. 120 HP on a basic, 3 energy, Geo Burst 120. It's like this damage is reduced by the amount of damage that it has on this. That has to be low-key. It can't be good. Like, there might have been a time where a card like this would have been good. That is so long past us at this point. So for fighting, our first one is my boy and my favorite, Onyx. However, this is not it. This Onyx is not the one. I'm not gonna rate it, but you definitely play the one from Wisdom that's swinging for 50 against an Oricorio, knocking it out, and then just going into Steelix. They're both colorless energy. They're both 100 HP. This is just not the one you play. Then we have Makuhita, 2 energy strength. It's better than the one that we got a full art for, but again, we're not rating basics like this. Hariyama, 120, 3 energy, 90. Maybe not mid. I mean, maybe not bad. It's borderline mid to Y. Like, why they print this? Yeah, Hala or whatever it makes it works with this one because it's also Hariyama, but I have no words for this. I don't get it. Then we got Nose Pass. We got a means to an end. It goes into Nose Pass, which we will see later. Then we have Mega Lopunny. Mega Lopunny, I would go towards meta. Definitely not. It'd be broken if it wasn't coin flip based, right? The attack is coin flipped, the confusion is coin flip, so it's like 50% of the time it's really good, 50% of the time it's like really bad, or like okay at best. Overall though, it does have high potential. It does hit very hard. It could hit up to 180. If you're playing with Lucario, you're hitting 200 to 220. If you're playing Geos and other stuff, it goes higher and higher. And the potential's there. It's obviously gonna see more play than the other ones just because of 2 energy being able to swing already is something that the other ones cannot say for themselves. And I feel decent with that guess, or that, not that guess, but that placement for it. Then we have Mindful, 1 energy into main. Literally, why does this exist? Did we need another Mian Chao or whatever this is, however you pronounce this? I don't think so. Although I am happy with the amount of fluff. It's kind of low compared to other metas or formats or other packs, I guess. Especially Mega Rising, that was insane. For Darkness, we have Grimer. Not much to say. Into Muck, 3 energy, Gunk Shot, 70 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not poisoned. This has to be like, I guess technically Koga works with it. That's one thing, but this has to be mid to bad. I'll go with mid. This is basically another Hariyama. Then we got Purloin, 1 energy trip over, 10 plus with a coin of heads, it does 30 more. That's like the Duskull attack. Again, we're not reading basics like that. Light Part, Snatch and Flee, 60 plus 60. Your opponent reveals a random card from their hand and shuffles it into their deck. Okay, and then shuffle this Pokemon into your deck. What are we doing? what is? That sounds bad. It's hand disruption, but at the same time, like, to what point? Like, low key, maybe it'd be nicer to just put mid. It's like, it's not that bad. Maybe I'm being harsh on like War Turtle and this. I just what makes War Turtle so bad, I know we're going back to it, it's just how good the other two are. Ivysaur and Charmeleon I'm referring to. Liepard is like, they really had me at the first half, let's say that. Trubbish, just a basic that goes into 3 energies, Acid Spray, 70, flip a coin if head, discards it. I guess I have to be objective, or although it's all subjective, it's in the same tier. It's basically another mode. At least that's how it reads. Now, the moment I've been waiting for, Steelix that is playable, and this one is not necessarily it, right? Just another basic Steelix. This one does work with Jasmine, however. 150, 2 energy, 2 colorless, metal defender, 100. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon has no weakness. Where does that apply? I don't know. Not really. I really don't know. Obviously, the Mega Steelix that we're about to go to, I guess this is like mid. I guess it's not bad per se. It's pretty bad, but I'll go with mid because the Steelix, but it works with Jasmine. I guess that makes it a little bit better, but I wouldn't go as far as good. I personally wouldn't play it in my Mega Steelix list, but I see, especially with Jasmine, not thinking that, oh, you could use Jasmine with this. It's far more, I guess, like I could see it be a little more playable than I was thinking, maybe for a non-EX tournament. But let's go to the man of the hour, Mega Steelix EX. This card is probably just good. This is probably just a good card, but I will do everything in my power to keep this card in the meta. I'm going to make so many iterations of this deck, and hopefully I could keep this guy somewhat relevant as much as possible. I already did it. Honestly, I have to admit, it was basically luck that it did as well as it did. There is definitely some flaws to the deck, something that I gotta work on, whether it's damage, whether damage is really what holds this back, but the amount of damage it tanks is huge. It's crazy. Big fan of Mega Steelix. I was probably gonna rate this high as a meme, as not. At least now I have like, oh, it did really well in a tournament to kind of back it up. Hopefully it continues to be doing good, not just a one-hit wonder. But I'm willing to back my own favorite Pokemon line, I guess, and hope that it's as good as it is. If this makes you doubt my rankings, I apologize. It's just give me one hot pass here. Okay, we're leaving Mega Steelix. Let me believe, all right? And then we go to Pro Pass. Pro Pass obviously was meant to be mixed with Steelix. However, not as good, right? Take 2 energy from your energy zone, attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. It's kind of like a Dialga, but that's only a 1-pointer, but it is a stage 1. I'm leaning towards good just because ramp is nice, but the whole it being, what really kills it for me is the fact that it's a stage 1. So it's not like guaranteed that you'll see it. You're better off, especially with the way Steelix that needs so much more energy than just the 2. You're better off just playing like, I don't know, like a baby Pokemon, like a Pichu, a Magby, that type of thing. It's I really can't put it any higher. Any higher, and it'd be like disrespectful to the other cards that are higher, or like it's just not it. Right. And then we got Genesect, 3 energy, 10 plus. This type does 20 for each metal energy. So let's say you finally get to 3 energy, you're hitting for 70. Unless there's some crazy way to hyper, I guess we just went over it, like either Dialga or the Nose Path to fuel this with, I don't know how much energy you need it before it starts becoming a real problem. This has to be mid to bad. I'll call it mid because the design is crazy. Like I'm a big fan of Genesect as the artwork. For colors, we start with Ditto, which is copy of Friend. When I read this, I thought this card was complete garbage, but I have seen a few lists that have some interesting plays. Would I say this is it's, I could see the vision, I guess is what I'm trying to say. High key, it probably belongs in mid, but I'll go with good. Who knows? It has the potential to be any of these before and any of these after. It could be like a Charizard. It could be, I really don't know. It could be any of these non-EXs, I guess, and Magnezone and all that. But it has the potential to copy a friend, you know. So we'll leave it at good. It's probably somewhere in between good and mid. Like there's an extra tier that I do not have on this list. That's probably where Ditto goes, but we'll leave it there. Then we have Porygon's Stiffen or Stifle. Probably Stiffen. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes -20. I was about to rate it badly. It's just a basic. It goes into Porygon 2. Porygon 2. If you're not playing the one that jumps to a Porygon like Z, what are you doing, right? Like, so I'm not even gonna rate this. Obviously, you don't play this. I guess if anything, it's not even a why, because technically, if they print a Porygon, they have to print the whole line just in case somebody's new to the game and they're just building from this. But yeah, this is just bad in the world where we have other ones, right? Especially the one that just cheats out Pokémon. I mean, Porygon Z's. Then Cyberjack 20 plus. This attack does 20 more for each trainer card in your opponent's deck. Trainer cards. So that's items too. It's not just supporters. Usually a Pokemon deck has anywhere from, actually it has quite a bit, huh? Because now, like if, for example, if it was against like Darktina, you have 16 cards, although you don't have all of them in your deck. Let's say you start with 4 or 5. Let's say half your deck. So let's say 10. It's around 8. It could hit for like 160, and over 100 usually. But then if you're going against like a Sweeping that draws out everything, nah, this is mid. This is mid. I think you're better off playing the Disruption Porygons. But yeah. They have Starly, call for friend, put a random Starly from your deck to your bench. Okay. Staravia, 2 energy quick attack, 30 plus. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. Realistically, Staraptor is the type of Pokemon that you're going to use Rare Candy for. So I'm not even going to hate on this. Go Staraptor, 3 energy, Hurricane Wind 50 times. Flip 4 coins. This attack does 50. I hate coin flips. I'm going to go with mid. Only because there's so many more Staraptors that are better. Also, what's with the Staraptors? Why so many Staraptors? Like, I understand Barry had one, so that makes sense. But this is not a Barry set. There's not, whatever. They really like Staraptor. And I like Staraptor, but not as much as these people like Staraptor. And then we have Baneri. Doesn't matter. You're going to low pony. And what low pony does, actually, this is double. It's also double kick. So it's the same attack. Just you're never using this. This is not even a viable, like I guess, a consistent out to Oricorio. So you probably wouldn't do this anyways. you would play something else. I'm assuming, especially being a fighting deck, you could bring out like Lucario to take down the. Yeah, I just gotta go with this is bad. I guess this is bad. It's not even mid. It's just like you would play this. Then we got Buffalant. 2 energy revenge, 40 plus. If your enemy Pokemon were knocked out by damage from the and attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does 40 more. I was about to say, whoa, I had never read this card. Like, I've seen it a bunch of times, I never read it. I was like, oh, they just gave Marshadow to everybody. They really didn't. They really didn't. Yes, it's also 2 energy like Marshadow, but it just goes up to 80. That's not really enough to do anything. I gotta put that in. It's pretty bad. It's like maybe there's a world where it's mid, but I think it's bad. And then the last one we have is Furfro. This is like this one. I think I'm pretty sure this is identical to every other Furfro that they brought out. They all have the same effect. I'm pretty sure. Again, not 100% certain, but pretty certain. And with that, we'll put in a fluff. Why are you printing more of the same guy? So we have like 4 copies of this card. They all have different arts. They all do the same thing. And then that's all the Pokemon. Let's go to trainers and items and all of the above. For trainer, this set brought 4, 2 items and 2 supporters. We have first Clement's backpack. During this turn, attacks used by your Magneton, which probably won't come up, or your Helios, do 20 plus. This card, I would say this is a good card. It's technically an EV bag for the chosen few. If there's ever a Magneton that's better than the ramped one, in the sense that it does damage, that it's its own thing, I can see this happening. Helios is already hitting for 120. If you add this, it's hitting for 140. You could use 2, you're hitting for 160. You add Red or Geo, you're hitting for 170, 180. You're like knocking out Megas at this point. So, is it crazy? No. Is it mid? I think it's a little bit better. I think it's just as good as Helios. Would you play multiple? I don't know. I haven't really tested with Helios just yet. I do play it in my solo battle deck, which would be my next video probably, but that's not what we're talking about here. Then we have Quick Growth. Extract. This card is probably broken actually. Whether or not we see it all over the meta, it's dependent of grass decks, but it has to be a broken. Like, choose one of your grass Pokemon and play and just evolve it immediately. Like, that's insane. Like, it's like it limits what. Imagine in a format where people had execute like in generic Apex and they would just go straight to executor. Like, this card is one that's gonna far outlive anything else in this set. I think it's fair to say it's probably gonna, like, this set is not gonna be talked about like a year from now, and people will still be playing this card. That's how good this type of card would be, as long as they print the grass Pokemon that could use and abuse it, right? Then we have the 2 trainers. We have Clement, which I believe is broken. Searching Magneton, which is already a meta deck, making it more consistent. He also searches Helios, or however it's pronounced, in either solo battles or if I don't know how relevant it's going to be in the meta. But being able to search, like in a deck that you only play 2 Magnetons, you're going to find those 2 Magnetons. It even searches the bag. Like, it's like what is going on? They gave this card so much text, and it's so relevant. Way before we knew anything that was coming in the set, we knew this card was going to be good. So yeah, I think it's broken. And then the last card is Serena put a random Mega Evolution EX for me. I think this is gonna be, I think this is a good card. It's not as meta. It would be meta if like people were struggling to find their Megas, I guess. Like, oh, maybe like Blaziken doesn't want to break, or you want to find your Steelix, which is honestly I played as a 1-of just as a filler, but it's the first card I cut when I was like, oh, I kind of need this instead, or I want to play this. Serena's the first one to go, because we have cards like Copycat that change our entire hand. We trade 2 cards for like 7. I'm not gonna like, the chances that finds your Mega as well is probably higher. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So I would put it. It's a good card. It's definitely a good card. It's in meta. It's not even, because even meta decks aren't really playing. I mean, Mega decks aren't playing it necessarily. Like, not all of them are. So that's what would have made it meta if every Mega deck was considering using it. It's a good card. I would pick it up. I have my copy. I'm looking for a second, but that's not here nor there. So that's every card that's in the set. There's 69 cards. Obviously not all of them are on this chart. The basics aren't on here. Stage 1s that don't do anything besides going to a stage 2 aren't on here. And yeah, honestly, I don't think anything I picked was too controversial. Maybe the Steelix is too high because I'm a big fan. Maybe Blastoise. Actually, no. I think putting Blastoise in good was pretty respectful. Maybe Venusaur is too low. Venusaur, I could see Venusaur being meta, depending on how the meta shifts. Charizard are dropping off, but I think people love Charizard too much for it to fall off appropriately. If anything, they'll adapt it, go stray away from the Entei stuff and go into something more like what Heatmore, although Heatmore's not the answer, because Heatmore was just a direct answer to like hitting Mega. I don't know. Point is, people figured out Charizard will stay in the meta, so that's why it stays there. And yeah, let me know down below what your opinions are, either on the set or where I put stuff. Feel free to like, oh, you put this card way too low, or you put this card way too high. It's all of it is discourse that I'm inviting, because that's like the best part about this community, is just growing together. Whether it's you teaching me something, maybe I'm teaching you something, whatever it is. Also, if there's any other videos that you want to see, obviously the solo battle videos are on the way. More meta tournament stuff is coming. Unfortunately, we don't have ranked until January, so that's a little bit limited, but please consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 2K by the end of the year, and above all else, stay pro.
Just so you guys know, there's like a wall where Dina says, okay, these are the people that are funding us, and like I guarantee you, man, is up there.